the state has indicated that they plan to use surveillance video from the FedEx. Well, okay, I'll start with the BP. From the BP, which shows Mr. Drinks and other individuals shortly before the shooting on Windsor Street.
Okay.
It's surveillance video. There's nothing particularly, there's nothing misleading about it, so I don't have any objection to that. It just kind of is what it is. It shows the surveillance of that store. There's also surveillance from the liquor store, which is an adjoining building to the BP. Don't have any issue with that.
Okay.
There's surveillance from the FedEx building on Windsor Street. Don't have any issue with that.
Are these all short?
They're all short, and I don't have any objection to them, and there's no audio on any of them either. So once we take those off the table, we have a helicopter, a video from the helicopter, APD Phoenix video. Now the video, Ms. Hylton identified as helicopter camera.ts. When I found it in my discovery, it didn't quite say that, but I'm fairly certain we're talking about the same video. It's what we've deemed the slow speed chase of the white Audi. Is that correct? That's the helicopter video we're talking about?
Yes, Your Honor. And
well, so far all it's doing is making me dizzy.
oh, you were able to open it?
I'm watching it. I mean, it's helicopter view. I feel like I'm in a video game right now. Does it get to something relevant at some point?
It does. It
Okay.
begins the
When you play it at trial, assuming that it is ruled in, can we skip the part where they're just flying above the city?
well,
I mean,
what
they might be looking for something, but they certainly haven't found anything yet.
they're just trying to orient themselves to the location. So when you're listening, they're on the traffic.
Oh, am I
orienting
supposed to be hearing something?
Yes,
Am I supposed to be hearing something?
you should be. And I can publish it so you can hear, or
Why don't you? Because I'm not hearing anything.
and I don't know if there's I don't know if we need to watch the entire video, so I don't know what Mr. Schart's objection is, because we might be able to get to that point.
Okay, so with that video,
Hang on. Is this a 12-minute video?
It is, but it captures the entirety.
Or more than that? 13 minutes and 40 seconds? Okay. And what's the objection?
my objection is, I'm looking for the timestamp. I have it on a piece of paper here, but I think it's 10:05.
Okay.
The person in the helicopter says they or Shannon is armed, consider them armed and dangerous, or armed and dangerous, and we don't think that is appropriate. Also, at the very end of the video, I think the state is of the belief that, I'll just say one of the two individuals threw a bag into a bush.
Okay.
And there's commentary from the helicopter pilot about a bag in the bush. Now, if I understand, if the helicopter pilot saw it and he testifies that I saw someone wearing whatever throw a bag in the bush, then that's fine. But I don't think we need the commentary on the out-of-court commentary on top of the video. And that's at the very end.
We had a.
So what part of this do you want to show?
This is an entire chase. So it starts.
So who's chasing who?
So the police. So this video. So to orient the court is on March 17, 2022. This is 3 days after the Drinks homicide.
Okay.
One of the gang investigators is at the Chick-fil-A on Cleveland Avenue. this car is a suspect vehicle at this point,
Okay.
and
Which is the white Audi?
the white Audi is a suspect vehicle. And while at the Chick-fil-A, the investigator's getting his lunch, maybe Mr. Stillwell, they're getting their food, and that begins a low-speed, high-speed chase. When the helicopters start going, Mr. Stillwell gets out of the parking lot. He does not get his food, and and they go on a chase. He goes the wrong way up streets, and he eventually gets to a home where he runs into a yard. He throws his phone away. We're able to subsequently apprehend that phone. They throw this bag of drugs away that's seen from the helicopter. They throw a book bag away that's seen from the helicopter. That book bag is subsequently recovered. It has drugs inside of the book bag. And so this is evidence of that interaction.
Okay. So the Audi is at the Chick-fil-A.
Yes.
And then a law enforcement officer is at the Chick-fil-A?
An undercover law enforcement officer is
Okay, and
behind-
then does that car start following the Audi or just the helicopter?
the helicopter and other cars. We have a trooper that follows.
When does it start? And when do we start seeing
the chase begins?
the Audi? This helicopter has been flying for 2 minutes and 16 seconds now.
Yes, Sharon, because
All right, Phoenix, we got our mapping system up. We can,
if you listen to the radio, what the officer who sees the car, he's giving Phoenix information. Here, he's giving
Phoenix being the helicopter
helicopter
from the
along-
outset.
from the outset. So what happens is the reason why the helicopter is orienting himself, the helicopter was at the airport, which is where it's housed.
Okay.
And they are,
So can we, the part before it gets to the Chick-fil-A, do we need that?
we can start it at the Chick-fil-A because that is the
Okay.
relevant
Okay.
portion and play it into.
And that's at minute what? 2-ish?
It's about probably where I am at 1 minute and 15
Call it.
seconds.
Well, actually, yeah, about a minute. It looks
Hey,
like
we're
maybe
around.
that's
We got
Chick-fil-A.
GSP.
Yes, because what it's showing is that they're focusing on finding the target vehicle and getting ready to be able to assist the officers on the ground with where the car is going.
Okay, and then how long does this, it's not, I mean, y'all are saying a slow speed chase. It's cars following the Audi. And how long does that go on?
The 13 minutes, that is the entire.
Do we need 13 minutes of that, or can it
Yes,
just
'cause you
be
see
at
different-
minute 1, they start following, and then here's when something actually happens?
Your Honor, let me reevaluate that. I think that
Okay.
the entirety is
'Cause, I mean,
important.
honestly.
Of what happens in this entire interaction, we will look at it and get back to court, but we believe that the entire thing is relevant. At 10:05,
Well, it might be relevant, but it might also be a waste of time
Your Honor, and we
to
will look at
watch cars kind of just following each other down roads
Mr. Stillwell goes in the opposite side of traffic. There's a number of different things that
Well,
occur.
then pick out those parts and show those and condense it. Okay.
Your Honor. Yes.
Okay, so get back to us with a much condensed version of this.
So, in Your Honor, I agree with the court that a lot of this seems to be unnecessary to the extent that you're
Oh,
saying.
do you want all 13 minutes in?
I don't. But the reason I'm not jumping up and down about it is
Well,
there's nothing egregious that my
that's
client
fine, but
does.
we've got to find some places to cut some time. And if there's nothing being shown other than the cars driving down the highway, I get if they're taking evasive action, fine, show that. But the stuff that's just, we're driving, we can just skip that and get to the points that are more relevant.
Okay. Your Honor.
And so, Your Honor, to the extent that whatever the video that's played, I do want to discuss the audio briefly. I know,
All right.
I feel like
So I agree that he's considered armed and dangerous, needs to be
and
redacted. What else?
That's from 10:05 to 10:10.
Okay.
And then from 12:35 to 12:40, there's a commentary about the throwing of the bag. Again, I get it. If
Is the
you-
helicopter pilot going to testify?
Yes.
Okay.
And so, and I believe I thought we litigated that portion of it previously, but maybe it was just the drugs in the bag.
All right, so you'll redact that and he'll just testify to it, or it'll be on here and he won't testify to it?
It'll be
One
on
or
here.
the
He
other.
won't testify to it.
Now, I will say,
Okay.
because I'm trying to protect my colleagues' interests as well, Mr. Harvey in our discussions, his stance is that none of the audio should come in because it just doesn't serve any purpose.
Okay, and what would the purpose of the audio be?
Your Honor, so in the audio, the Phoenix sergeant or the sergeant piloting the plane is telling the individuals where to go, how to find where essentially the cars are because they're behind. So
Right.
that is the
Okay.
purpose of the audio, Your Honor.
But, I mean, we can see from the video that they are able to follow, so, I mean, you can ask him, and were you?
I wasn't planning on having him narrate through while he was on the stand, so I was just going to have him play the video, and as opposed to having him narrate.
Okay, why does it matter if the helicopter sergeant was the one who was able to direct, oh, he's turning left or whatever? Is it just things like that?
It is.
Okay, that's unnecessary. And he could just say in one sentence, I had a great vantage point, an eagle eye view, and I was able to direct them.
Sure.
If you want him to say something like that.
Okay.
All right, what else?
So there is a video of I believe it's dash cam of Trooper Mark Campbell. I cannot get that. Mark Campbell, Trooper Campbell, my understanding is the person who located a firearm that the state is attributing to my client and Mr. Nichols. And I've seen this video, but I can't get it to play on my computer.
Okay.
I don't think it's that long. I was wondering if we could just play that in court and just all
Okay.
be on the same page.
I
All right.
couldn't. I told Mr. Schardt last night I was having difficulty getting it played as well, so I may need to go back to the
Where
back
we
to the
pulled it
trooper
from
where we got
originally?
it to figure out why we can't play it anymore because I was having some difficulty as well.
All right,
But
so
because
y'all
we-
tag that as something we need to circle back to, please. What would we be labeling that? Is this who?
That is Trooper Campbell's.
Okay, Campbell.
Yes, and it's in
All
his
right.
folder.